Imagine a business so bulletproof that it makes more money by doing less, and it's been winning for 75 years straight. Rolex doesn't just sell watches, they sell scarcity, permanence, and power, and they've turned that into a $10 billion empire. Here's the crazy part. The secret behind it isn't craftsmanship or marketing. It's a charity foundation structure that protects them from Wall Street, inflation, and even recessions. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to apply the same wealth structure to your own life, even if you never buy a Rolex. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down the psychological, structural, and financial blueprint behind Rolex's century-long dominance, and show you exactly how to use this strategy to build wealth that outlasts economic storms, market crashes, or career shifts. Why should you care? Because Rolex's structure is the only high-performing brand that guarantees both value and control for a lifetime. Stick with me because I'll not only expose the strategy, but give you the step-by-step to apply it starting today. This isn't just another breakdown of a luxury brand. It's a masterclass in financial engineering. Welcome to the Wealth Project, where ambition meets opportunity and your journey to wealth and luxury living truly begins. Here, we deconstruct the playbooks of the world's most successful so you can transform your future. If you're ready to elevate your life, subscribe, follow, and ring the bell so you never miss a masterclass. Welcome to the exclusive club where you don't just watch, you learn to win. Your next lesson starts now. The Value Gap Revelation. Before I tell you about this mysterious charity, you need to see the proof of their power with your own eyes. Look at this data. We track the real market value of the world's most famous luxury watches. The blue line shows what the company says it's worth, the retail price. The gold bar shows what it's actually worth the second you walk out of the store. For an Omega Seamaster, a fantastic watch owned by the publicly traded Swatch Group, you lose 14% of your money instantly. It's like handing over $7,000 and watching $1,000 vanish the moment you step outside. Same story with the IWC Pilot's watch, down 17%. The Cartier Santos, you're looking at a 12% loss. But Rolex? The Submariner doesn't just hold its value, it multiplies it by 50%. That gap isn't luck. That's not market fluctuation. That's the power of the foundation. You should be asking yourself, what makes Rolex so different? Why do their watches gain value while every competitor loses money? Here's what most people don't realize. This isn't about superior craftsmanship or better marketing. This is about a decision made 75 years ago by a man who understood something about human psychology that his competition still don't get. And that man's story will change how you think about building wealth forever. The orphan's vision. Now that you've seen the proof, let me tell you about the man who created this empire and why his childhood trauma became the foundation of a billion-dollar strategy. Hans Wilsdorf was 12 years old when he lost everything. Both parents dead, no family fortune, no safety net, just an orphaned boy in Switzerland shivering through cold nights in a boarding house with nothing but an obsession that would reshape the luxury industry forever. Picture this. While other kids played with toys, young Hans was sketching watch designs by candlelight. Most people who experience this kind of loss become desperate for quick wins, immediate gratification. But Wilsdorf went the opposite direction. He became obsessed with permanence, with building something that could never be destroyed, never be taken away, never disappear like his parents did. In 1905, he founded Rolex with a revolutionary idea. While everyone else was making pocket watches, those bulky things your grandfather kept in his vest, he bet everything on wristwatches, devices that most people considered flimsy toys for women. But Wilsdorf saw the future. He spent 20 years fighting skeptics, pursuing official chronometer certifications, proving his wristwatches were as accurate as pocket watches. You should see that true wealth isn't built by chasing trends. It's built by having the courage to bet on your vision when everyone else thinks you're crazy. But Wilsdorf's greatest move wasn't creating Rolex. It was what he did in 1945 after his wife died and he found himself the sole owner of a growing empire. What he did next was so brilliant, so psychologically sophisticated, that it guaranteed Rolex would dominate for the next century. And this is where the charity comes in, the foundation fortress. What I'm about to show you is the most brilliant wealth preservation strategy ever created, and it's something you can apply to your own financial future. In 1945, Hans Wilsdorf did something unprecedented. He transferred 100% of his Rolex shares to a newly created charity, the Hans Wilsdorf Foundation. Not 90%, not a controlling stake, everything. Here's the genius. This foundation is legally forbidden from selling Rolex. The company cannot be acquired, merged, or taken public. Ever. Wilsdorf created a financial fortress that answers to no one but his own mission. Think about what this means. While Omega answers to Swatch Group shareholders demanding quarterly profits, while Cartier reports to Richemont investors wanting immediate returns, Rolex answers to nobody. They can make decisions on a 50-year timeline. They can invest billions in a new facility without justifying immediate returns. They can restrict supply to protect brand value without Wall Street analysts screaming about missed sales targets. It's like Warren Buffett locking Berkshire Hathaway into a trust that couldn't be touched by activist investors or Wall Street pressure. Pure genius. You should realize that the most powerful wealth strategy isn't making more money. It's structuring your assets so they can't be destroyed by short-term pressures. But the foundation structure is just the beginning. What Rolex does with this freedom is where the real magic happens. They've turned scarcity into their most valuable product, and the psychology behind it will change how you think about supply and demand forever. The scarcity machine. Now, I'm going to show you how Rolex weaponized human psychology to create demand that their competitors can't match. Rolex produces about 1.2 million watches per year. Sounds like a lot, right? Wrong. Demand is estimated at over 2 million. They could easily double production and still sell every watch, but they don't, and that's the point. Here's what happens in your brain when you can't have something, you want it more. It's called the scarcity principle, and Rolex has turned it into a science. When you walk into an authorized dealer and they tell you there's a 2-year wait list for a Submariner, they're not apologizing. They're selling you on the exclusivity. Picture this. Last month, a guy in Miami bought a Rolex Daytona for retail price, $35,000. 24 hours later, he sold it for $70,000. That's a $35,000 profit for doing absolutely nothing except waiting in line. Meanwhile, their publicly traded competitors are trapped. Shareholders demand growth. Growth means more units sold. More units means flooding the market. Flooding the market destroys exclusivity. It's a death spiral that Rolex escaped by removing shareholders from the equation. You should understand that in a world of infinite supply, scarcity becomes the ultimate luxury and the ultimate investment strategy. And the result of this century-long strategy? Total domination. What I'm about to show you will prove that Rolex isn't just winning the luxury watch game, they've forced everyone else to play a different sport entirely. The empire's numbers. This is the moment where everything comes together, where you see the true power of the foundation strategy in cold, hard numbers. In an industry with hundreds of historic brands, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Acheron Constantin, Rolex alone controls over 30% of the entire Swiss watch industry's revenue. That's more than the next 5 brands combined. They're not just winning, they've created their own category. 10 billion Swiss francs in annual revenue from 1.2 million watches. Do the math. That's over $8,000 average selling price per watch. While others are sprinting on a treadmill, Rolex is laying tracks for a bullet train. But here's the most incredible part. Every year, the foundation takes a portion of these massive profits and distributes them to charitable causes in Geneva. Education, social action, culture. The charity that owns the world's most profitable luxury brand is actually making the world better while making their shareholders, which is to say society itself, richer. You should be amazed that the most successful business model in luxury goods is also the most ethical, proving that long-term thinking and social responsibility aren't just good for the world, they're good for business. But the most incredible part is still coming. Because everything I've just shown you, the value creation, the scarcity strategy, the foundation structure, it all leads to one simple truth that can transform your financial future. Your foundation strategy. Remember the promise I made that you'd walk away with a wealth strategy few people even know exists, let alone use? It's this. Think like a foundation. Hans Wilsdorf didn't build Rolex to be profitable. He built it to be untouchable. He created a legal structure that forces long-term thinking, protects against emotional decisions, and turns delayed gratification into unstoppable momentum. You don't need a billion-dollar brand to apply this. You just need to reframe every financial decision with one question. Am I building this for this quarter or this century? This is how generational wealth is built, not by chasing hype, but by creating systems that preserve power across decades. Here's the twist nobody talks about. Rolex isn't alone. There are other companies, hidden in plain sight, that use these same psychological and structural tactics to build invisible empires, and most people never realize how they work. If you found this strategy mind-blowing, the next one will make you rethink everything you know about wealth, status, and control. If this Rolex strategy shifted how you see wealth, then don't stop here. Luxury, freedom, and success are closer than you think. Don't just watch, take your next step. Choose our latest insights or a curated favorite, both waiting for you on your screen. This is The Wealth Project, deconstructing wealth, transforming your future. Subscribe, get the rulebook, and remember, you're now part of the exclusive club, Playing to Win.